Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today, we're discussing more than just a computer. We're discussing a legend, a philosophy, and a perfect second act. This is the machine, the ThinkPad X200. For many people, the ThinkPad X200 is an antique. For us, it's a canvas for a remarkable digital revival. In the time ahead, we'll be using an extraordinary operating system, MX Linux 23.6 with the XFCE Desktop Environment, to breathe new life into this classic hardware. Why choose the ThinkPad X200? Because the build quality of the ThinkPad X200 is nothing short of legendary. The ThinkPad X200 upholds the ThinkPad's enduring legacy of rugged durability. Being as sturdy as a tank, the ThinkPad X200's keyboard, quite simply, ranks among the finest ever produced for a laptop. The ThinkPad X200 is remarkably lightweight at just 3 pounds, approximately 1.25 kilograms, and features a compact 21-inch display. That said, the hardware in the ThinkPad X200 is admittedly rather dated. It runs on an Intel Core 2 Duo processor, up to 4 GB of DDR3 memory, and integrated Intel X4 500 HD graphics. 17 years ago, the ThinkPad X200 delivered formidable performance. But in 2025, running bloated modern operating systems like Windows 10 or Windows 11 presents considerable challenges. So, what challenge do we now face? It is how to bring the performance of an older machine up to the standard of modern hardware. We require an operating system that respects the hardware, one that is lightweight, stable, and yet fully functional. This brings us to the star of this video's story, MX Linux 23.6 XFCE. We shall delve into specifics shortly, but this combination is nothing short of a match made in heaven for retro computing. It is swift, stable, and serves as a gateway to a vast software ecosystem without bloating the system. MX Linux is the product of collaboration between the Anti-X and former EPI's communities. It is currently ranked among the most popular distributions on DistroWatch, and for good reason. Its philosophy is straightforward: to combine an elegant and efficient desktop environment with high stability, robust performance, and a moderate learning curve. Crucially, it is based on Debian stable, which translates to rock-solid reliability. This is vital for older systems. The latest version of MX Linux is 23.6, codenamed Libretto, which is the most recent stable release built upon Debian 12 Bookworm. This means you receive all security fixes and package updates without the hassle of a rolling release. For our ThinkPad X200, this release is particularly significant as it continues to offer a 32-bit version, invaluable for legacy hardware, while the 64-bit version is optimized for lower resource consumption, making it well suited for the Core 2 Duo architecture. Now, let us turn to the XFCE section. This is crucial. XFCE is a lightweight, customizable, and mature desktop environment. XFCE consumes fewer resources than KD Plasma or GNOME, which directly translates to a smoother experience on the X200s. We're talking low memory footprint, typically under 500 MB when idle. This is vital when the X200's addressable memory is usually capped at 4 GB. XFCE's layout is traditional, intuitive, and highly configurable. It doesn't take up much space. MX Linux possesses a secret weapon, MX Tools. These are proprietary graphical applications designed by the community to streamline common tasks. They include MX Snapshot, MX Package Installer, and MX Cleanup. From the hardware perspective of the ThinkPad X200s, Intel Wi-Fi Ethernet, Intel Graphics, and Audio all receive excellent support from the standard Linux kernel. MX Linux, based on Debian, features a slightly older yet exceptionally stable kernels, such as the 6.1 series. This kernel has undergone thorough testing on legacy hardware, ensuring all ports and peripherals function seamlessly out of the box. There's no need to laboriously hunt for obscure drivers. MX Linux provides flawless support for the ThinkPad X200s. Before installation, we ought to discuss the key upgrades for the X200. This is what truly delivers a modern experience. The first is upgrading to an SSD, bidding farewell to the sluggish, original mechanical hard drive. An affordable modern SATA SSD is the greatest contributor to performance gains. This is absolutely crucial for running the operating system smoothly. Second is upgrading the memory. You can increase the DDR3 RAM to 4 GB, with the potential to expand up to 8 GB. More memory means more browser tabs can be opened simultaneously, reducing the need for swapping operations. Once these upgrades are complete, the X200 will be flying. Now, let us proceed to prepare for installing MX Linux XFCE on this ThinkPad X200. Our first step is to obtain the MX Linux ISO file. This step requires a functional computer with an internet connection. Open your web browser, search for MX Linux on Google, and visit the MX Linux official website. On the MX Linux official website, locate the Download section. You may see multiple MX Linux options. XCE as MX Linux's flagship desktop environment is listed first, as the preferred choice for older computers will download MX 23.6 The MXCS ISO file size is approximately 232 GB, so please be patient. During the download, you may wish to enjoy a cup of coffee or review the BIOS settings on your ThinkPad X200. During the download process for the MX Linux XFCE ISO, we require a tool to burn the MX Linux XFCE ISO file onto a USB drive, rendering it bootable. This is crucial, as the ThinkPad X200 typically lacks an integrated optical drive. My chosen tool is Balena Etcher. It is cross-platform, free, and exceptionally straightforward to use. Please download and install Etcher on your current computer. After downloading the MX Linux XFCE ISO file and installing Etcher, insert your USB drive. Open Etcher, select the downloaded ISO file, then choose your USB drive as the target drive. Please double-check that you have selected the correct drive. Choosing the wrong one may erase important data on other drives. Click Flash and let Etcher work its magic. This process may take several minutes, depending on the speed of your USB drive. Upon completion, you will receive a confirmation message. Do not format the USB drive afterwards, simply eject it safely. Once the bootable USB is ready, we insert it into the ThinkPad X200. Switch on the ThinkPad X200, then immediately press the F1 key repeatedly to enter the BIOS utility settings. Within the BIOS, we first press the F9 key to restore the default settings. Next, we press the F10 key to save and exit. At this point, the ThinkPad X200 will reboot. When the ThinkPad boot screen reappears, press F12 to enter the boot menu. Within the boot menu, select to boot from the USB HDD and press Enter. Now we have arrived at the MX Linux XFCE boot menu. Within the MX Linux boot menu, we can select our preferred boot method. Typically, the first default option is the one we desire. Select it and press Enter. Your ThinkPad X200 laptop will then load the fully functional MX Linux XFCE Leave desktop environment directly from your USB drive without accessing your internal hard drive. On this ThinkPad X200, loading the MX Linux XFCE Live desktop environment took less than a minute. This is the complete MX Linux XFCE Live desktop, running entirely from your USB drive. You may freely click Open Applications and experience the operating system without installing anything. Before proceeding with a full installation, we can test MX Linux XFCE within the live environment. This is a crucial step to verify that all hardware, Wi-Fi, sound, screen resolution, touchpad, and other components functions correctly. Right here, the ultra-streamlined XFCE desktop. Notice how swiftly it loads. It runs remarkably smoothly even on this older Core 2 Duo processor, even when running entirely from a USB drive. This responsiveness assures you that once installed on an SSD, the operating system will be lightning fast. Observe the memory usage in the system monitor, incredibly low, under 30%. This is precisely why XFCE serves as MX Linux's flagship desktop environment and why we selected it. If all tests prove satisfactory, we can proceed with the installation. On the MX Linux XFCE Live desktop, you will notice an icon labeled Installer. Double-click it to launch the installation program. The MX installer is graphical in nature. While not the most visually striking, it is robust and features a highly intuitive guided approach. It will walk us step by step through the entire installation process. The first step is to set your language and keyboard layout. The default settings are usually suitable for your language, but you can change them here if required. Click Next. Step 2 is disk partitioning. Now, this is the most crucial step and where most new users feel nervous. Please pay close attention. We have two primary options: automatic installation using the entire disk and custom installation on existing partitions. As we are performing a clean installation on this ThinkPad X200, we shall select the automatic installation using the entire disk. If you are dual booting, You may choose custom and use MX partition tool to shrink the existing Windows or other Linux partition, creating a new partition for MX. For a clean install, I recommend setting up a small swap partition. Approximately 4 GB is sufficient for the ThinkPad X200 hardware, a primary root partition formatted as XT4, and an optional separate primary partition for user files, though a single root partition is also viable. Once the configuration is complete, the system will issue a final warning. Click Start to proceed. Step 3 involves configuring the hostname and user settings. Whilst copying files, the installation program will prompt you to set system configurations. Hostname. This is your computer's name on the network. In the domain section, you may leave this blank for home use. Computer network group is typically left blank as well. Step 4 entails setting localization preferences. Here you configure your region to set the clock and time zone. Step 5 is user configuration. Set up your primary user account, security password, and root password. A best practice is to avoid automatic login, though for personal computers like mine, it proves rather convenient. For enhanced security, I recommend leaving the automatic login option ticked. File copying is in progress. Now is the perfect moment to enjoy a cup of coffee, review your chat logs, and let the magic unfold. The lightweight nature of MX Linux XFCE means installation is remarkably swift. On this ThinkPad X200, the entire process took approximately 4.5 minutes. Upon completion of the installation, you will see a message prompting you to close the installer and automatically restart the system. After clicking Finish, the installer will close and automatically restart the system. During the restart process, once the screen turns black, we must remove the USB installation media. This is crucial to prevent your ThinkPad X200 from attempting to boot from the USB again. Your ThinkPad X200 will now reboot. Upon restarting, it will boot directly into your newly installed MX 23.6 XFCE, codenamed Libretto. As the ThinkPad boot screen bearing the Intel and Lenovo logos reappears, this ThinkPad X200 approaches its pivotal moment. We observe the GRUB menu counting down, which will guide us into the freshly installed MX Linux XFCE Desktop, codenamed Libretto. Boot up has succeeded. MX Linux XFCE boots significantly faster than any commercial operating system achieved on this 2008 hardware. Upon booting MX Linux for the first time, the window that greets you is MX Welcome. This is no mere welcome message. It's a powerful navigation hub. First, it acts like an old friend, introducing you to MX Linux's unique charm, helping you quickly grasp the system's core philosophy and strengths. Next, you no longer need to search through vast documentation for answers. MX Welcome thoughtfully provides various useful links, whether it's official documentation, detailed user manuals, active community forums, or FAQs. You can access them with a single click to resolve your queries. Even better, it gathers together a collection of MX Linux's secret weapons, a suite of powerful MX tools. From system backups and driver installations to system cleanups and snapshot management, these tasks that might once have daunted newcomers are now within easy reach. You'll also find essential tools like the Package Manager prominently placed for straightforward software installation. For a fresh Linux installation, the first step should be to check for updates. Whilst the ISO may be current, new security patches and software updates are constantly released. We shall utilize the terminal to accomplish this task. It is both powerful and efficient. You may launch it by clicking the terminal icon or using the keyboard shortcut Ctrl+Alt+T. First, type sudo apt update and press enter. It will prompt you for your password. This command refreshes the list of available packages. Next, enter apt list upgradable to view software eligible for upgrading. After that, type sudo apt get dist upgrade and press enter. This will display a list of all upgradable packages. Press Y for yes and let it proceed. This ensures you have all the latest security patches and software, which is a crucial first step in maintaining security and stability. Subsequently, we need to restart the computer to apply these updates. Moving forward, I'd like to share my insights on the ThinkPad X200s. Picture this. It's 2008, the iPhone 3G is flying off the shelves, and Lenovo launches this 12.1-inch ultra-portable laptop that feels like a tank in notebook form. The ThinkPad X200 weighed under 3 pounds with its standard battery and around 3.7 pounds with the extended 9-cell battery pack, designed for mobile professionals prioritizing durability and portability. The ThinkPad X200 laptop featured in our video is based on the Intel Centrino 2 platform, equipped with a 2.4 GHz Intel Core 2 P8600 processor, a dual-core processor with hyper-threading technology capable of reaching up to 3.06 GHz with turbo boost. While it cannot match today's M-series chips, its performance for email, documents, light programming, and web browsing is sufficient to make you forget it's a 17-year-old product. The ThinkPad X200 can be configured with up to 8 GB of DDR3 memory, though standard configurations typically range from 2 GB to 4 GB, and features integrated Intel GMAX4 500M HD graphics. This allows for smooth playback of 720p video, and if nostalgia takes hold, you might even run some casual 2D games. Regarding storage, it shipped with a 160 GB mechanical hard drive, but I upgraded it to a solid-state drive, which has revitalized it. The ThinkPad X200 features a 12.1-inch widescreen LED backlit display with a resolution of 1280 by 800. Its matte finish effectively eliminates glare, making it perfectly suited to that coffee shop warrior vibe. Viewing angles are decent when looking straight at the screen, though they deteriorate slightly when sharing with friends. Unless you acquire the rare X200 tablet variant, this model lacks a touchscreen. Yet with the legendary ThinkPad keyboard at your disposal, who truly requires one? Oh, and the keyboard. A full-size, spill-resistant keyboard with tactile feedback makes typing a veritable delight. The pointing stick, featuring the iconic red dot design, it enables precise navigation without lifting a finger. To save space, Lenovo omitted the touchpad on the base model, but one adapts to it rather quickly. The connectivity is a business traveler's dream: 3 USB 2.0 ports, one for charging, a VGA port A for external displays, an Ethernet port, an Express Card 54 slot, a 4-in-1 card reader, and a headphone microphone jack. Optional dual-UN support for mobile broadband and GPS positioning ensures seamless mobile productivity. Oh, and above the screen sits a 1.3 megapixel camera for crisp video calls, delivering truly professional-grade image quality. Battery life. This is precisely where the ThinkPad X200 shines. With its 9-cell extended battery, reviewers at the time recorded over 9 hours of mixed usage, encompassing web browsing, document reading, and light multimedia. Current charging times are estimated at 6 to 8 hours, depending on the battery's condition. The ThinkPad X200's build quality has passed MILSTD 800F testing. It will stand up to drops and spills. A magnesium alloy chassis with reinforced corners. This is why ThinkPads earned their bulletproof reputation. But to be honest, for most people, it's already outdated. It lacks a USB-C port, has no Thunderbolt connectivity, and requires an external dock for HDMI. The optional ultra-based dock at the time could add an optical drive and other ports for $175, now available for a mere tenth of that pricey. Fan noise increases under load, and while the Core 2 dual processor is power-hungry, it becomes particularly energy-intensive during demanding tasks. That said, considering its current second-hand price tag of under $100, it remains a sound bargain for Linux revival projects. Should you be contemplating a purchase, opt for models equipped with P-series CPUs for superior thermal management. In short, the X200 isn't meant to compete with your M3 MacBook. It's an affordable, reliable, and capable computing device. And that's precisely where MX Linux comes into its own. Right then, let us now discuss MX Linux XFCE as I understand it. MX Linux 23.6 XFCE, released in April 2025, marks the 6th update in the MX23 Libretto series. It is based on the stable Debian 12.10 bookworm release, yet with a distinct difference: it is moderately lightweight, user-friendly, and optimized for hardware like the X200 that modern bloated software struggles to handle. Developed by the Antix and MX communities, it is entirely free and supported until 2028. XFCE is MX Linux flagship desktop environment. It is remarkably lightweight, idle memory usage around 400 to 600 MB, yet feature-rich. Version 4.20 introduces subtle refinements, enhanced multi-monitor support, more polished themes, and smoother animations without burdening the GPU. System is omitted by default, opting for the classic fluidity of Sysvinit, though it remains optional if required. Kernel. The standard ISO runs kernel 6.1, 133, which proves exceptionally stable for older Intel chipsets like the GM45 found in the X200. For cutting-edge requirements, the AHS variant with Liquorix 6.130 kernel is available, though the stock version suffices perfectly for our vintage hardware. MX standout features include the MX Toolkit graphical utilities covering everything from boot repair to repository management, the MX Package Installer, a one-stop shop for DEB, Flatpaks skipping snap packages for lightweight operation and kernel swapping. Live USB snapshots let you try without commitment, while the remastering tool enables you to craft your perfect setup into an ISO file. MX Linux comes with everyday software pre-installed LibreOffice for documents, Firefox ESR for browsing, VLC for media, and Thunderbird for email. It's exceptionally refined, built upon Debian stability with Antex efficiency tweaks. In terms of performance, MX Linux XFCE is simply a dream on a mid-range computer. Boot times are under 30 seconds, multitasking is smooth, and it's power efficient enough to run all day without plugging in. Reviews rave about its just works philosophy, Wi-Fi, sound, touchpad, ELS or track point. As it's called here, everything is detected instantly. Customization options, countless. The whisker menu for quick launches, a dock-like taskbar with window previews, and conky widgets for displaying system status. Finally, to summarize my impressions, the ThinkPad X200 remains a classic piece of hardware, but it needed a modern soul. MX Linux 23.6 XFCE provides that soul, a lightweight, stable, and user-friendly operating system that unlocks the X200's true potential. It seamlessly blends classic craftsmanship with modern, efficient software. If you have an old laptop gathering dust, why not download MX Linux XFCE and give it a try? You might just breathe new life into your favorite machine. Have you installed Linux on a ThinkPad X200 laptop? Have you installed MX Linux XFCE on an older laptop? Please share your experiences in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for more tech content and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Thank you for watching, and I hope this sharing has been enlightening for everyone.